In the beginning of the drama, we see our female lead Mira returning home from the office. She goes straight to the sofa and lies down. After resting for a while, she gets up and starts cooking. She thinks to herself, there are only 24 hours in a day. Out of those, 6 hours sleeping, 10 hours at the office, 2 hours commuting, 1 hour eating, and 2 hours bathing. That leaves only 3 hours. In those 3 hours, I can enjoy my life. And she spends even those 3 hours watching movies. The next morning, she gets ready and leaves for the office. She catches the metro, puts on her headphones, and gets lost in an imaginary world. She feels as if she is enjoying a weekend at the beach, but her dream doesn't last long. A little child sitting next to her makes a lot of noise, causing her to open her eyes. Just then, a lady sitting nearby tells Mira that the child has spoiled her clothes. Mira gets very angry but couldn't say anything to him. In the next scene, she's trying to clean the stain in the office lift. People get off one by one. Now only one guy is left with her in the lift, and this is our male lead, Park Minsu. He tells her, the stain won't come off like that. Mira thinks to herself, here comes someone to teach me. They both get off on the same floor. Mira walks fast and gets ahead of him. She punches in at the gate machine, but it keeps telling her to try again. After 2 or 3 attempts, the door opens and Park enters before her. She starts walking fast again and gets ahead of him. Just then, some girls come out of the office and start congratulating. Mira asks them what's going on, but they ignore her and crowd around Park. Seeing this, Mira feels jealous. Mira then asks her colleague, Sangwoo, who tells her that he has signed a TV deal. Hearing this, Mira is shocked. Then another colleague, Nari, informs, there is a team dinner tonight. Mr. Park is taking everyone to celebrate. Mira starts making an excuse, saying she already has plans. But Sangwoo says, I know you'll just stay home. Nari also tells her, you know the director is angry with you because you never come to any office dinners, right? Mira replies, I'm not the only one like this. Park doesn't ever come either. Then another girl, Era, praises Park that she likes him. Mira asks, what did you like about him? The girl replies, I like him from top to bottom completely. Mira says, Ara, you are still naive. Even if someone holds a knife to your throat, never date in the office. But Ara says, I didn't even mention dating. Mira replies, I was just giving advice. Just then, Park messages her. It says, sending feedback for Team 2's story from last week. The main hero doesn't have a heroic quality, and he doesn't fit at all in the superhero story. The characters are all dull. The story is pointless and has no merits worth mentioning. After reading this, she glares at him angrily. Just then, the director comes shouting into the office, telling producer Chan to stop. But Chan announces, I'm quitting this job. Hearing this, everyone is stunned. While his colleagues try to stop him, Mira notices that Park is completely unaffected by this drama. He is just immersed in his work with his headphones on. Just then, she gets a message from her friend Jian, telling her to meet. In the next scene, Mira goes to meet Jian, and they both go to the mall, where Jian starts looking at clothes. Mira says, you called me just for shopping? Jian says, are you crazy? Would I call you this far just for shopping? I wanted to ask you, what will you wear to Jihoon's wedding? Hearing this, Mira makes an awkward face. Jian says, you're not thinking of just sending an envelope and making an excuse, are you? Mira replies, I'm not making an excuse. I'm really busy. Jian says, this is your chance to dress up nicely and show off some wealth. Mira asks, where am I wealthy? Jian says, what's the harm in pretending? We'll just dress up well and make people jealous. They should think your life is sordid, that you're earning tons of money. The person getting married is Mira's ex-boyfriend. She says, ages have passed since we broke up. What's the point of making him jealous now? Jian picks out a dress for her and asks her to try it. Next, we see them both sitting in a restaurant eating. Jian says, don't even think about returning the dress. Mira replies, okay, you're talking as if you paid for it yourself. Jian says, I'm just a simple school teacher. If I had money, I would definitely give it. Then she asks, don't you feel lonely? Don't you ever feel you should have a boyfriend? Mira says, will my salary increase if I get a boyfriend? No, it won't increase. Instead, expenses will increase. I'm not so foolish as to go around looking for trouble to embrace. Jian says, you could also find an earning boyfriend who is exactly your type. Mira finds this interesting and starts listening attentively. Zen says, exactly like you, a grumpy and stubborn person. Mira remembers there's only one such person in the office, Mr. Park. She says loudly, no, absolutely not. I'll find a partner exactly like myself. Hearing this, Jian starts laughing loudly. In the next scene, Mira reaches home. She lies down on the floor. Then, looking at the shopping bag, she starts crying and says, why did I buy such an expensive dress? She covers herself with the dress and falls asleep on the floor. The next day in the office, there's a discussion about Chan leaving. Nari asks who will take his place. Sangwoo says either Park or Mira will be chosen. Nari asks Park would be understandable, but why would they choose Mira? Sangwoo replies, Mira doesn't have much work. She stays free. That's why her name is coming up. Just then, Mira arrives at the office. They both start looking at her strangely. Park also arrives at the office. Just then, he hears Mira shouting. Nari and Sangwoo start waving hello to him. Sangwoo tells Mira, Park does better work than you, so chances are the director will choose him. Nari adds, that's that's not certain. The director's thinking is a bit twisted. Hearing this, Mira gets worried. Then she takes some cookies and heads toward the director's office. As she goes inside, she starts saying something, but then falls silent because she sees Park is also sitting there. He too had brought a treat for them. The director says, "Sit down. I need to discuss something important with you both." He continues, "Convince me who should get Mr. Chan's position." Mira says, "Sir, I should get the first opportunity to explain myself." The director shouts loudly, "Shut up, you shameless people! Even after me calling you repeatedly, neither of you comes to team dinners. Fine. I'll set aside my displeasure and choose based on your capability alone. Come on, Mira. Start speaking." She says, "Sir, there is only one person in this office who can handle this responsibility well, and that is Mr. Park." Park replies, "I am not worthy, sir. Mira knows how to get work done from people. She will handle the writers well. So, for this post, only Miss Mira is suitable." Mira says, "No, sir. How can I snatch away someone's right? This post should definitely go to Mr. Park. Besides, according to him, my projects have no merits, only flaws." An argument starts between them, taunting each other about work. The director, fed up, says, "I understand both of you don't want to do this work. If you have such a problem with work, then what are you doing in the office? I knew this would happen. Mira, you will do this work." Hearing this, the ground slips beneath her feet. She says, "Sir, this work is beyond my capability." The director says, "The decision is made. Nothing can be done now." Park says, "Okay, sir, you people see to it. I'll leave. I have a meeting." Mira also returns with a gloomy face. She sees that Park is comfortably sitting in a massage chair. Mira then goes and sits near her desk. The story goes into a flashback from 3 years ago. After working all day in the office, Mira returns home, where she has only 3 hours of free time. But even after coming home, her phone remains on. The writer, Young Soul, calls and nags her. Her boyfriend Ji-hoon comes and says, "Tomorrow is my birthday. Leave the office a little early and reach the hotel on time." The next day, she is talking to the writer while making cookies for Ji-hoon. Listening to the writer's nagging, she falls asleep on the table. Meanwhile, poor Ji-hoon keeps waiting at the hotel. He calls her repeatedly, but Mira was fast asleep. When she opens her eyes, she has 12 missed calls from Ji-hoon on her phone. Her cookies were also completely burnt. She gets ready quickly and rushes toward the hotel. Just then, a message comes from Ji-hoon. Break up. Back to the present. Mira is going home at night. The metro is very crowded. On top of that, there are constant jerks. A woman loses her balance and, while falling, grabs Mira's hair. Mira screams loudly. The woman quickly apologizes. Fed up with this life, Mira starts crying. The next day, Mira goes to Ji-hoon's wedding. Jian says, "I told you not to return the dress." Mira replies, "I didn't feel like wearing that dress. Anyway, what's the point of looking good?" Their conversation is going on. Just then, 2 girls come and say, "Look, she came just like that." Seeing this, Mira feels very bad. She says to herself, a beautiful-looking girlfriend and a sparkling engagement ring on her finger. That scoundrel burned me without even being here. Then she leaves the party. At night, Mira goes for a walk to freshen her mood. Just then, she gets a message on her phone and gets irritated because it was from the writer, Young. She goes home, reads the stories written by her, and says, "Now this woman has started writing even worse." She checks social media. People were cursing the writer. The next day, when Park comes to the office, he sees that Mira is using his massage chair. Mira thinks to herself, "Just seeing his face makes me angry." Park asks her, "How much more time will you take?" She replies, "Just 5 more minutes." Park sits in front of her and starts looking at his watch. He was counting even the seconds, to the point that Mira, fed up, gets up from there. As soon as Park sits on the seat, something pricks him. He sees that it's a toy that Mira had placed there for revenge. Meanwhile, a girl comes and tells Mira to bring all the files of writer Young from Mr. Park. She has to harden her heart and go to him. Park asks, "Where did this toy come from?" She says, "I don't know about this." Then she asks Park about the files, and he gives her a time of after 5 minutes. They both meet in the conference room, where Park explains everything to her. Then he sends the Sana's address to her phone. She says, "I don't need this. No matter what, I will only sleep after going home." He says, "Okay, no problem." Then, as soon as she goes out the door, he sends the card 100 more times. Next, during lunchtime, Sang-woo says, "This is your last lunch with us, so today's treat is on me." They are all going together, waiting for the lift. Just then, the lift door opens, and everyone is stunned because standing in front is the writer, Young. She'd also brought a lot of stuff with her. She says, "Mira, we need to talk about many things. I've also brought tasty lunch." Then she forcibly grabs her and takes her along. During lunch, that woman exhausts her by talking continuously. Then they start working. Mira starts pointing out the mistakes in the story. Young says, "I won't say you're stupid, but you're just not understanding my style." Mira replies, "Fine, then you talk to the director. I quit work." Young says, "It's not like that. By working with me, you'll also learn." After a while, a new guy enters the room. He introduces himself as Minjin. He has come from D Company, which makes a dating app. Mira asks, "And what's the name of the platform?" He replies, "Boyfriend on Demand." Hearing this, Mira bursts out laughing. Young says, "This girl reacts to romantic things just like this." After the meeting, Minjun asks to talk to her privately. He says, I want you to use our platform for 1 month and then give your opinion. Meera asks, so what will I have to do for that? He says, this is a dating platform, so you'll have to give your opinion based on dates. She asks, this will be a fake world, right? Where all the guys will also be fake? He replies, yes, but you'll feel everything is real. As ma'am said, you don't like romantic things. Your review matters more to us. He adds, you will also get paid for this. Hearing the word money, Meera couldn't refuse. At home, a box is delivered to her by D Company. She unboxes it and learns how to operate it by looking at the manual. It contains a ring and a speaker that connects to her mobile. As instructed by the machine, she wears the ring on her head, and as soon as she turns it on, strange things start happening in her head. She faints and falls onto the sofa. Meera had now reached another world. There, she was wearing a white dress. She looks at her reflection in a water puddle on the ground. She is standing on the same beach where she always wanted to go on weekends. Meera is very happy. When she touches the water, it feels completely real. She spots a guy in the sea who was surfing. Suddenly, a big wave comes and she drowns in it. She could even breathe underwater. For Meera, this was a magical moment. Fish are swimming all around her. Just then, Meera sees that the guy is drowning. She swims toward him and pulls him out of the water onto the land. She says to herself, what do I do now? When she looks at him carefully, she remembers that he looks exactly like a hero from a comic book. Just then, a voice comes from the sky. Congratulations! You are meeting your first date. And that guy regains consciousness. Meera asks him, are you okay? And suddenly, Meera arrives in different world. There are large capsules all around her. Then Meera's gaze falls on a capsule that has a picture of a woman with manager written on it. As soon as she goes near it, suddenly that woman extends her hand out of the capsule and places it on Meera's shoulder. Meera screams in fear. Meera asks, who are you? She replies, I am your daily manager. The manager then types something on a table and a box comes out. In that box is a ring. The manager places that ring in Meera's hand and says, those who come here are given such a ring. As long as you wear it, you will be logged in, and as soon as you take it off, you will be logged out. Hearing this, Meera asks, okay, but am I okay in the real world? The manager replies, yes, absolutely. In the real world, she is lying on the sofa in a strange position. Then Meera wears that ring. The manager says, come on, now you have to go. Saying this, she snaps her fingers and everything starts spinning. Then she brings the middle capsule closer and tells Meera to go inside. Meera moves forward hesitantly. Just then, the manager blows from behind and Meera reaches inside that capsule. She arrives again at that beach again, where a guy is lying unconscious in front of her. Meera is trying to wake him up. Suddenly, the guy holds her hand and asks, who are you? She gets very scared. She doesn't understand what to do now. Then Meera remembers the manager's words. She quickly takes the ring off her finger and immediately reaches real life. Then she starts researching about the boyfriend on demand app. She says to herself, have to admit, Mr. Minjin has created an amazing thing. The next day, even while working in the office, she's thinking about that same app. Just then, that dating app guy appears behind her. Seeing this, Meera is stunned. Then she looks carefully and realizes it's just a cutout. Then she starts staring at the poster. Meanwhile, the director calls Park to the office and says, we are going to release a comic book on Friday. Park says, doing this won't be right. It's wrong to create competition between the two writers, but he can't refuse the director. Actually, a famous writer, Hani's comic book, is also releasing on the same day. While leaving, Park turns around and asks, does Meera know about this? The director says, she doesn't know, and you don't tell her either. Otherwise, she create a huge fuss in the office. We have to do this work secretly. On the other hand, Meera, looking at the poster, says, it feels like he's looking right at me. Park sees her staring at the poster. At night, while going home, Meera is standing in the metro line, and she sees the same poster there too. See, today, also, she doesn't get a seat in the metro. She peeks into the mobile of a girl sitting nearby, and she was also reading that same comic book. Seeing this, Meera is surprised. The girl feels a bit weird and hides her mobile. Posters are everywhere on the metro walls too. The girls standing near her are saying, he's so handsome. Even on those girls' bags, his picture is printed. Meera says to herself, wherever I look, I only see Jessic. As soon as she reaches home, she opens that ring. She lies down on the sofa and then turns on the machine. But this time, instead of the beach, she is in some hotel. Meera sees that her clothes are also different from last time. There is even a name tag attached to her clothes. Meera has a file in her hand. She opens it and looks. In the file was written, approval request, general manager. She goes inside the office. Just then, Jessic comes and stands behind Meera. Seeing him suddenly, she gets startled. Jessic says, an ordinary girl who works here is sitting at my desk. Meera tries to say something, but Jessic tells her to get lost. Meera doesn't understand anything, and leaving from there, she says, stubborn jerk. Jessic hears her saying this and tells Meera to stop. He then asks, have we met before? Meera thinks to herself, he remembered. Now Jessic is coming closer to Meera. Her heartbeat increases. He says, you are that girl from the beach. Meera says, yes, I am that girl. Jessic asks, asks, but how are you here? She replies, I work here. He says, finally, I found you. After you saved me that day, I just couldn't forget you. Not even for a moment. Hearing his words, Meera starts making weird faces in real life and says, if you keep delivering such cheap filmy dialogues, she is speaking, but Jisoo doesn't let her speak and says, by saving me from drowning in the sea, you drowned me in your eyes. Hearing all this, Mira feels like strangling him. She takes off the ring and wakes up in the real world. She says, this is a complete gone case. The next day, when she goes to the office and sees his cutout, she keeps remembering those words Jessica said to her. She gets irritated and says, cheap guy, and turns the cutout's face towards the wall. Then Sangwoo comes and tells her about Young's and Hani's comic books releasing on the same day. In the next scene, Meera goes to the director's office. She says, Director Han, Hani's new show episodes are also releasing on Friday. Why did you do this? She's a famous writer. You should have told me first. But the director says, I have complete faith in you. You will give her good competition. Meera then asks this idea. Park didn't give it to you, did he? The director says, absolutely not. As soon as she steps out of the office, she hides and tiptoes towards Park. He's talking to Hani. Meera hides and overhears all their conversation. Then she takes out her mobile and calls Young, but she is busy singing a song. Meera, searching for her, reaches that place and shouts, stop singing, but Young doesn't stop. So Meera pushes her away and stops the song. Then she holds her hand and forcibly starts dragging her along. Young says, have you gone crazy? Meera asks, do you even know what Sir has done with you? She replies, yes, I know. But if we can't change it, why stress about it? Meera says, you're giving up so quickly. She says, what difference does it make to you? Meera replies, it does make a difference. If the ratings fall while you're working with me, what will Park think? My reputation will be ruined. We cannot let that writer win, the one who tried to snatch your top position. Hearing all this, Young agrees. At night, both of them are still in the office. Meera says, you must think of a good flashy idea. Young says, you tell me what new thing I should try. She also holds her head and says, my brain isn't working either. Young says, let's just kill the main hero. As soon as people find out, everyone will be stunned. Meera says, this isn't the time for jokes. Young then asks, do you know why my story became the most successful among all my stories? Meera guesses, because you create handsome men that all girls die for. Young says, that's the root of the trouble. I didn't even want to continue the story, but Jessica became excessively handsome, and I was forced to continue it. I don't want to write this story further. Please, only you can help me now. In the next scene, Meera is walking on the road and sees Jessica's poster stuck on a shop's gate. She says, you must be happy now. Just then, she notices two little girls talking about their crushes. One girl says, that fool isn't clearly saying yes or no. The other girl replies, then just ask him if he likes you or not. Hearing those kids' conversation, Meera gets an idea. She starts running down the road. She quickly reaches home, puts the ring on her head, and presses the button. She enters the hotel room. Jessica is standing in front of her. Meera asks, what happened? Why did you call me to your room? Then, looking at him, she thinks he is handsome. Says, you are the manager here, right? Today is your last day. From tomorrow, you don't need to come. Meera is shocked. Are you firing me? He replies, yes, I don't date people who work in the company. That's why I have to fire you. Meera says, girls might be dying to date you, but I'm not like that. You'll have to work hard to win me over. Hearing this, he starts laughing. Then he stands up, comes closer to her, and says, you really are different from others. You want me to go crazy for you. Meera says, yes, make me yours, but please do it quickly. You don't have much time. He says, now I won't fire you from the job. I'll keep an eye on you. Then he calls someone and says, transfer this girl to the secretary's office. He takes off his coat. Then he starts unbuttoning his tie and shirt. Meera is still standing there. He says, you haven't left yet? My work is done. Just then, a large bubble appears in the air, and she gets transported to another place. Along with that, her clothes have also changed. Just then, a car stops in front of her. The driver opens the door, and Meera sits inside. She sees that a girl is already sitting in the car. That girl says, I am the chief secretary to the general manager and handle all his work. My name is Choi Minji. You must know that getting a secretary's job in CI Group isn't easy. You have to go through a lot of struggle. You got into the office because of the general manager, but you'll still have to give a job interview to prove yourself. Then Minji starts asking questions. She asks, what do you like to eat the most? Meera replies, I love non-veg. She writes down her answer. Then she asks, after you get a boyfriend, what kind of date would you like to go on? Meera asks, what kind of interview is this? Then she realizes that these questions were written by Jessica. Just then, Minji gets a call from Jessica and he dictates a few more questions. After the call ends, then Minji takes her to the boss's cabin. As she goes inside, Meera is stunned. His entire office is filled with red flowers. She asks, what is all this? He replies, flowers are the best way to impress women. Smiling, she takes out one rose, goes to him, and says, "Now what are you going to do next? You must have planned something, right?" He replies, "I'm going somewhere right now. Come with me." Hearing this, she becomes happy. They go to eat food, but Meera doesn't enjoy it there. She says, "Is this all you will do for me?" Just then, Jisoo gestures to the chef, and they fill the table with tasty food. He says, "I thought let's have something to eat before going on the date." Meera, like a child, runs and tastes everything. Then they both go to the mall. Meera asks, "Why have we come here?" He says, "Now that you're going on a date with me, you should have good clothes." After seeing the whole collection, she likes a purple-colored dress. Then he gifts her a diamond necklace. Today, Meera is very happy. Then he takes her to a mansion, where both come dressed like a king and queen. Meera thinks to herself, "I realize this is not your typical cliché romance." Suddenly, she takes off her ring. In the next scene, she is knocking on Young's door. Young says, "Why are you bothering me so early in the morning?" Meera excitedly says, "I've found it. I've got it." Then she enters her house and says, "I know what to do with Jisoo. We'll have to start from the very beginning. You said that Jisoo is extremely handsome and can fulfill a girl's every wish." Young says, "But you were the one who said all this is cliché and cheap." Meera replies, "I was wrong. Jisoo isn't cliched, he's a classic guy. That's why girls are so crazy about him. But you messed it all up by giving him cheap dialogues." Young asks, "Did you say something to me?" She says, "I have an idea. This time, we'll show the romance of the rich. Everyone will enjoy reading it. We'll start the story from the mall." Then Meera starts narrating the dating app story to her, and Young creates the story accordingly. Work day and night to complete that project. That night, only 2 people are in the office. Park sees that Meera is still busy with work. He goes to get coffee, and Meera also follows him. Then, they both start waiting for the lift. Park says, "Looks like both of us will be working late nights often now." Pouting, she says, "Yes, maybe." Park turns back and says, "Whatever happened, I had no hand in it." She asks, "Why are you giving explanations?" Park replies, "It seems like you're angry with me." She says, "It's nothing like that." Then she enters the lift. Park had 2 coffees in his hand. She says, "Looks like you'll be very late today." He says, "I took 1 coffee to drink on the way home." Meera says, "After the ice melts, the coffee's taste will become bad." He replies, "I'll leave before the ice melts." Just then, the lift opens. Meera runs ahead of him and quickly reaches her desk. After a while, Park finishes his work and leaves the office. But Meera's work is still pending. She keeps staring at the screen for an hour, and as soon as the comic book is uploaded, she finishes her work and reaches home. Meera is very nervous. Then, gathering courage, she opens her mobile. Just then, she finds out that her story is trending at #1. She screams with joy. To celebrate this happiness, Meera dances. The next day, she makes a stylish entry into the office. Everyone claps to welcome her. Then she gives Park a proud look. The director also claps for her. Meera first straightens that cutout. Her colleague says, "You've planted your flag." To receive praise, she pretends to be naive and asks, "What happened, guys? Did I do something special?" Next, we see her sitting at home, reading everyone's comments. Everyone is writing positive things. Then for the next story idea, she wears that ring again. Then we see Jisoo standing near his private plane. Just then, a Lamborghini arrives and stops there, and Meera gets out of it. She says, "What was the need for a private jet for dinner?" He replies, "You're complaining about this too? Anyway, why are you so late?" She says, "I came after completing my work. Otherwise, the boss would get angry." Jisoo says, making an excuse of the boss's work, "You're making the boss himself wait." Hearing this, Mira starts laughing. Then she asks, "Where are we going for dinner?" He says, "See when we get there. Come on now." Saying this, he walks towards the plane, but Meera keeps standing there. Just then, Jisoo comes back, holds her hand, and takes her along. Now they are on a boat in the middle of the sea. Meera gets very excited seeing dolphins. They have come to eat in the middle of the ocean. Jisoo says, "Let's get engaged." Hearing this, Meera is shocked and says, "Engaged? Have you gone crazy?" He says, "You are refusing to marry a handsome, rich guy?" Meera says, "I already said our relationship would only be dating. I told you, don't fall in love with me." The next day, they meet on the beach. Meera says, "What a beautiful view." He says, "If you don't want to, there won't be an engagement, but you can still be my girlfriend." Hearing this, she is taken aback. He says, "This is the first time I'm asking something from anyone." Meera smiles, and he starts fixing her hair. Then he comes closer and kisses her. Meera could feel this in real life too. Then Jisoo takes out a gift from his pocket. The box contains a ring, seeing which Meera's breath quickens. Then he gets down on one knee and says, "I am giving this ring to my girlfriend. It's not an engagement ring, so don't refuse." She is surprised. Jisoo kisses her hand, and just as he is about to put the ring on her finger, he freezes right there. A notification appears on his head. "Your 50 hours of dating are complete." Then an error starts blinking. She wanted to live that moment, but her dream remains unfulfilled. Just then, she wakes up in real life. She takes out the manual guide from the box. It was clearly written in it that a character can only be dated for 50 hours. Seeing this, she starts crying loudly. The next day, in the office, Mira is lost in her own thoughts. She is unable to forget Jessic. Ahead, she is shown meeting Minjun at a restaurant. He asks, "How was your experience?" Mira tells him that she felt good. Minjun says, "Then why did you submit your review before the time was up?" She says, "This much time is enough to understand the app. And besides, after that hero, I don't want to try any other character." Minjun says, "There are still 899 guys left, so how can you say that Jessic is the best? If you don't try the other guys, you might regret it later." Hearing this, Mira doesn't say anything. She comes home, and while watching a romantic movie, she thinks that she too should feel this. She looks at the ring and says, "I got a 1-month free trial. What's the harm in using it? One shouldn't refuse free stuff." Then she wears the ring again. The manager is standing in front of Mira. She snaps her fingers and another bubble appears in front of her. The manager asks, "What are you thinking?" She replies, "I need a little time." Just then, the manager grabs her shoulders and pushes her into the bubble. Later, Mira is standing on a road where everyone is wearing pink clothes. Even the leaves on the trees are pink. A leaf falls on her shoulder, and just then, a guy picks it up. This is Mira's new boyfriend. Mira meets her new date, Yoonho. Both are lost in each other's eyes. Just then, a girl named Hwan comes and Yoonho apologizes to Mira, saying, "Sorry, you look exactly like her from behind." Saying this, he leaves with Hwan. Mira thinks to herself, "Is this not him?" She becomes disappointed. Just then, a girl comes shouting her name. The system indicates her name is Suji, and they are school friends. Suji says, "The campus is so big, I forgot the way." "Come on, let's go now," Mira asks. "Where are we going?" She says, "We were supposed to explore the campus today, right?" Saying this, she holds Mira's hand and takes her along. Mira sees a welcome board for freshers placed in front. She thinks to herself happily, "Is this my first year of college?" She is surprised seeing herself in the mirror. Just then, a guy from behind says, "Hey, these are new students." She turns and sees 2 jokers standing behind them. One of those guys starts dancing. Then he winks at Mira and makes weird gestures. They both ignore him and start to leave from there. Ahead, Mira sees that various stalls are set up there, but there is a long line at the stall. Mira asks, "Why is there such a long line here?" Suji explains that those people are standing in line to get tickets for the condo club match. "But I heard all the tickets are sold out." Maybe they're standing to buy canceled tickets. Mira then checks her pocket and finds she already has 2 tickets. Surprised, Suji snatches the tickets from her hand and says, "Where did you get these?" That too without standing in line. Mira says, "So we should go there." Then she holds her hand and drags her along. Next, we see they both are sitting in the stadium. Just then, a guy in black clothes enters and all the girls start screaming like crazy. All the girls are saying, "Hans will win." Then the game begins, and within 5 minutes, the team Hans is declared the winner. Mira is very excited to see his face. The guy starts taking off his mask. As soon as he removes his mask, all the girls scream with joy. Mira is also surprised to see him because this was the same guy she had met earlier. Yoonho ignores everything and only looks at Mira. Just then, everyone disappears and a system notification appears. "Congratulations, you are meeting your second date." Mira happily says to herself, "I knew it was you." In the next scene, Mira is filling a form. A girl asks, "You guys are joining the club because of Yoonho, right?" Suji says, No. That girl says, "Tell the truth. We also joined the club for this reason. You want to be friends with him, don't you?" Hearing this, they both become happy and nod in agreement. Just then, that girl turns serious and says, "Remember, you guys are behind us in line." Hearing this, Mira asks, "Is Yoonho really that famous?" The girl replies, "There is something about him. All the girls in college wish that he never passes. Thank God the architecture course is 5 years long." Suji is surprised and asks, "He's studying architecture? So he's not only good looking, but also good at studies?" Mira thinks to herself, "The one all the girls die for will die for me." Then smiling, she starts filling out the form. In the self-introduction, she writes, "I am Mira. I'm new to college and want to meet you." Then she starts laughing loudly. Everyone is looking at her strangely. Just then, bubbles come and she reaches a room. There were other girls sitting there too. Hwan says hello to everyone. She holds a wooden sword in her hand. Mira remembers, "This is the same girl who grabbed my date and took him away," Suji says. "Look, how pretty the club president is." Just then, a bird flies in from outside. It had a pink-colored leaf in its beak, which is now flying in the air. Kwan says, "So who will come forward to start?" Mira extends her hand to catch that leaf. Kwan says, "Wow, great, come forward." Mira doesn't understand because she wasn't paying attention to her words. After looking around, she refuses. Just then, her body moves forward on its own. Juan, giving her the sword, goes to the other side and says, "I need someone to teach her." Everyone turns their faces towards Yoonho. She says, "Yoonho, you come. Anyway, they all have come just to see you." Yoonho comes into the field. They both say hello to each other. He asks, "Have you ever held a sword before?" She replies, "No." After which, Yoonho teaches her how to hold the sword. Then he teaches her to stand with her foot forward and then how to strike. After this, Yoonho stands at a short distance and says, "Strike." Meera lifts the sword and within a blink of an eye, it reaches near his head. Seeing this, both Yoonho and Meera are shocked. Meera thinks to herself, how did I do this? I can't even hold a glass of water properly. Yoonho says, "You're a good athlete. Come, let's try again." This time, Yoonho is standing with full concentration. A fight begins between them. Yoonho strikes at her with full force, but Meera was blocking him as if she were a master of swordsmanship. Seeing this, Yoonho is also stunned. Hwan praises Meera, but the other girls can't tolerate this. Then Yoonho goes near her and says, "Hope to meet you again." They both smile looking at each other. In the next scene, when the practice is over, Yoonho starts to leave and Meera runs after him and asks, "Where are you going?" He says, "To the library." "Why did you need something?" Meera asks, "Will you have lunch with me?" But Yoonho says, "Aren't you being a bit too impatient? Let's get to know each other properly first. Let's meet later." Saying this, he starts to leave. Meera is taken aback by his words. Just then, Hwan comes. She asks Yoonho for lunch, and they both happily leave from there. Poor Meera is left standing with a long face. Later, she tells the manager, "But he was supposed to be crazy about me." The manager asks, "But why would that happen?" Meera replies, "Because he's my boyfriend on demand." She says, "Looks like you've misunderstood something. You didn't think that all these 900 guys would be smitten by you from the start, did you?" Meera says, "Well, Jisoo was smitten from the start." She says, "That's because we made him that way from the start. Silly." And she starts laughing at Meera. She further says, "You don't think of yourself as some princess, do you?" Meera asks, "Does this mean Yoonho might not even love me?" The manager replies, "Only time will tell. Some guys are stubborn, some are sweet." Meera says, "If I have to work hard here too, then what's the point?" The manager says, "Okay, shall I show you another guy?" Meera says, "No, wait. Let me think a bit." The manager says, "Tell me quickly. You don't have much time." After thinking for a while, she takes off the ring so that time doesn't count. The next day, when Park goes to the office, Meera is sitting on the massage chair. He turns off the room lights so she can rest. Just then, Sangwoo comes in, turns the lights on, and starts making coffee. He tells Park, this time, this girl has done amazing. Park says, "I knew it." Sangwoo asks, "The idea to shift the comic release to Friday was yours, right?" Park says, "No." Sangwoo says, "But Myra thinks so." Park replies, "She would think that. She doesn't like me." Just then, Mira's phone rings and she wakes up. In the next scene, she goes to the director's office. He tells her, "I just got a call from the writer. She is asked for a 2-week leave." Hearing this, Meera says, "Okay, sir, give her the leave. She has worked very hard." The director says, "You have also worked very hard. Good job." Hearing this, she starts smiling. Then Meera calls Jian home for a party. She hides that ring behind the curtains so her friend doesn't find out. In the next scene, Meera asks Jian, "If you became 20 years old again, what would you do that you haven't done yet?" Jian asks, "Why do you ask? What would you do?" Meera replies, "I would change my entire life." She says, "What do you mean by change?" Meera explains, "If I fell in love with someone, I'd go straight and propose to them. I wouldn't be shy." Hearing this, Jian starts laughing and says, "Looks like you've lost your memory. When you were 20, you were exactly like this. You made Jihoon your boyfriend, but actually, he always liked neon." Hearing her words, Meera starts smiling and says, "You're right. But what happened to me now?" She says, "You've changed after being with him." Later, Meera is thinking, winning over Yoonho will be difficult, but I won't give up. In the next scene, we see that Yoonho studying in class and Meera is staring at him. After the lecture ends, she goes and sits with him. Myra keeps trying to get his attention, but Yoonho doesn't pay any attention to her. Then she brushes her hair on his head. Now, he's had enough. He gently asks Meera to pay attention to the lecture. After the lecture ends, Yoonho goes for training and Meera follows him there too. There she starts fiddling with things. Yoonho comes to her and says, "Let's practice." When Meera doesn't know how to tie the uniform, Yoonho pulls her close and ties the uniform for her. In real life too, Meera is feeling shy seeing him. Her cheeks have turned red. He says, "This time, don't go easy on me like last time." The scene shifts after the fight. Meera is perfectly fine, while Yoonho's condition is poor. Just then, Hwan enters. She asks, "Were you two having a practice match?" Meera says, "He told me to." She asks, "So what is the result?" Yoonho remembers the match and they both stay silent. Kwon says, "I can't believe you lost to her." Yoonho then leaves from there. Later, Meera is at a party where she is making drinks just like a bartender. Just then, Yoonho arrives and sits next to Chwan. Seeing this, Meera feels jealous. Won tells Meera, "Dude, you are amazing at sports." Meera says in a cute voice, "It's nothing like that." Yoonho says, "Don't be so humble. You sound fake." Hearing this, she asks him, do you hate me? Everyone is shocked. He replies, I don't hate anyone. Sorry if you felt that way. After this, she stands up from her seat, goes near Yoonho, and fills his glass with the drink. Mira then says in front of everyone, I like you. Yoonho whispers in her ear, it hasn't been long since we met and you don't know anything about me. Mira then goes back to her seat. After the party ends, everyone has gone home. Yoonho also starts walking, and Mira follows him. Then he turns around and says, where are you going? She replies, to campus. Are you also going to campus? He replies, my project isn't finished, so I'm going to the library. If you're going to campus, walk with me. You following behind feels like someone is stalking me. This is exactly what Mira wanted to hear. She then asks, do you like that girl? He is shocked, so Mira starts changing the topic. Just then, it starts raining. Mira takes off her jacket and puts it over both their heads, and they both start running. Yoonho slips, causing him to get completely wet. Seeing this, they both start laughing loudly. Then they find cover under a shelter. Mira says, you're completely soaked. How will you do your assignment now? He replies, I have dry clothes in my bag. Just then, Mira sees a laundry room sign. Mira, pointing towards the room, says, your clothes will dry in there. In the next scene, Yoonho has now changed his clothes. He tells Mira, you should also change your clothes. But Mira refuses, saying, I want to stay here with you. Hearing this, he starts laughing. Yoonho then gets up and comes very close to her. He touches her hair and says, you should dry your hair, and Hwan is not my girlfriend. After this, he hands her the towel and says, I'm going to the library. The next day in the office, Mira sees Yoonho everywhere. She returns to the game where Yoonho is studying, and Mira just keeps looking at him. Yoonho notices this. He closes his books, picks up his bag, then he comes to Mira's desk and says, come on, let's go get something to eat. Hearing this, Mira becomes very happy. They talk a lot while eating. Now, a friendship has developed between them. They both work together on projects, then they practice together. Mira is now addicted to this app. They all go to a party again. Mira sees Yoonho standing alone outside. She also goes near him. Yoonho asks, can I ask you something? She says, yes. He says, am I still just a friend to you? Then the scene shifts, and we see Mira and Park have gone to an office dinner for the first time. As Mira is leaving from there, it suddenly starts raining. Park also comes and stands near her. She asks, how come you came to the team dinner this time? He replies, had nothing to do at home, so I came. Anyway, you're going home now? Thinking for a moment, she says no. Park says, then going to the office? She thinks to herself, does he think I can't go anywhere except home and office? In a faltering voice, she says, I'm going on a date. Hearing this, Park is shocked. Then he takes out his umbrella and starts to leave. He turns and says, your date must be coming to pick you up anyway. Then he leaves from there. She says to herself, fool, why did I lie to him? Then she puts her bag on her head and starts running. She comes home and looks at her mobile. In her group, she sees her ex-boyfriend's wedding and engagement photos. After seeing them, Mira becomes sad. She goes and checks the ring and finds out she only has 4 days of subscription left. In the next scene, Mira is in a bus. All students are going on a school trip. Yoonho sees that everyone is enjoying except Mira. He comes and sits next to her. He asks, did something happen? She shakes her head. Yoonho then places her head on his shoulder. Mira immediately falls asleep. The bus then stops outside a building. When Mira wakes up, she sees that only the 2 of them are left in the entire bus. They both start walking. Just then, Mira points toward the sky and says, look, a shooting star. Yoonho says, want to see it more closely? Then they both start heading towards the forest. After walking a bit, there is a beautiful view in front. A smile returns to Mira's face. She asks Yoonho, do you like me now or you still don't know? He looks at her and smiles. Then she asks, if you get married to some other girl, will you forget me? He replies, I will remember you. Maybe you won't be in my heart, but you will be in my memories. She asks again, which memories of mine will you have, the starting ones or the ending ones? He replies, I will remember both. Then they both smile, looking at each other. Mira says, for me, this is enough. Yoonho is about to kiss Mira. He then suddenly stops near her. Then a notification appears. Miss Mira, your 1-month free trial of Boyfriend on Demand has ended. Then she opens her eyes in real life. She checks the ring and it says trial period expired. Seeing this, Mira starts crying. The next day in an office meeting, Mira is still thinking about Yoonho. After the meeting ends, the director says, I have thoughtfully formed the teams and the romantic genre will be handled by Mira and Park. Hearing this, they both are shocked. In the next scene at their office dinner, Sangwoo asks Mira, why do you always look so down these days? Ara says, you must be feeling lonely. How about I set up a blind date for you with a friend of mine? Let me show you his photo. She is about to show her the picture when another colleague starts looking at the photo. Mira also wanted to see the photo. Just then, Park says, but she's already dating someone. Hearing this, everyone is shocked. Mira replies, you must be mistaken. Park says, you yourself said that you were going on a date when we last met. Making an excuse, she says, my friend introduced me to a guy. I only met that guy once. Then she tells everyone, I didn't tell you all because things didn't progress further. Ara says, that means you'll go on the blind date with that guy, right? But Mira refuses, saying, I don't want to go on any date. After dinner, everyone leaves. Only Mira and Park are left. Mira is not getting a taxi, so he says, let's walk a bit. Maybe we'll find one. He then asks, you weren't upset by what I said, were you? I shouldn't have said that. I feel bad. Mira says, it's okay. You were mistaken. Mira thinks after messing everything up, now he is realizing all this. Park says soon we'll be working together. Mira says if you want another partner, you can talk to sir. But Park says I know you don't want to work with me. Hearing this, Mira is shocked. She says no, it's nothing like that. After this, Mira returns home. Later, she gets a call from Jian. She says, you haven't forgotten tomorrow's plan, have you? It's Young's housewarming party. Mira had completely forgotten about this. In the next scene, Mira goes for shopping where she sees a line of girls at one place. She asks a girl who tells her this line is to try boyfriend on demand. Hearing this, she is amazed at how obsessed girls are with this app. Just then, Minjin comes to meet her. He asks her, you are enjoying boyfriend on demand, right? But Mira says, I don't use it anymore. I only used it for a month. He says, I thought you must have taken a subscription. Mira says, I'm busy with work so I don't get time, Minjin says. Well, now that you're here, have a look around and refresh your memories. But Mira makes an excuse and quickly leaves. Then she gets a call from Jian. Jian says, I have something important to tell you. Don't get angry after hearing this, but a friend of Young's is coming to her place, and your date is fixed with him. Mira doesn't say anything. Jian says, we thought we'd tell you after you got there, but we can't trust you. What if you had shown up in pajamas and a t-shirt? She looks at herself. She is still wearing the same thing. Jian continues, you're not angry with me, are you? Mira replies, no, you did well. The next day, everyone waits for her. Just then, Mira also arrives, wearing a pink dress that suits her very well. They all eat together. They drink and also play many games. Everyone really likes that guy too. After the party ends, that guy asks Mira, how about we meet on the weekend for lunch or dinner? Mira says, let me check my schedule and tell you. But he insists, please check now. I don't like to put things off. Mira says, I'll tell you comfortably after going home. The guy says, listen, didn't you like me? Whatever it is, tell me now instead of refusing later. Mira says, I enjoyed being with you, but beyond this, I'll go alone. Saying this, she leaves from there. Mira then goes to a restaurant and eats a lot of food. Then she also drinks a lot. Now she is waiting for a taxi. Just then, she is truly shocked when she sees Yoonho standing on the other side of the road. Without thinking anything, she goes to him and says, I'm meeting you. After so many days, that's when she realizes it's just his poster. Later, she goes home and checks their subscription. Seeing the price, she is shocked. She angrily shuts the laptop and says, have they lost their minds? Then, she thinks that combining the expenses of parlor, food, and gifts costs more than this. And in real life, it's not possible to find guys better than these. Thinking over everything, she convinces herself to take the subscription. Then she puts the ring on her head. In the next scene, Mira meets the manager. She asks, where are we? The manager says, this is your house in this world. This is a reward for the loyalty you showed by taking the subscription. Then the door of the house opens. The manager tells her that whatever gifts she receives in this world will arrive here. The manager then snaps her fingers and a capsule appears in front. She says, come on now, go on your date. Mira says, I want to meet Yoonho again at the same place where we were separated. But the manager says, you can't do that. If you want to meet the guy of your choice, you'll have to take the premium plan. Mira remembers that the basic plan was for 5 million and the premium for 10 million. Mira says, have you gone crazy? I'm not going to spend 10 million. The manager says, then date the guy I set you up with. Hearing this, Mira enters that bubble. This time, Mira has become an air hostess. Meanwhile, Mira is serving drinks. She goes to a handsome guy and asks, what would you like? He says, I want you. Suddenly, the guy takes out a gun and takes her hostage. Mira gets very scared. Just then, the hero in black clothes enters. He starts beating that thug and knocks him down. A man grabs Mira. She touches him gently and the thug falls far away. Seeing this, both are surprised. After the fight ends, he takes off his mask and tells Mira, now you are completely safe. Just then, the game notification comes. Congratulations, you are meeting your new date. Just then, another thug appears in front. The hero beats him, but he breaks the plane's window glass. The plane starts swaying back and forth. Mira says, I can't handle all this. Then she takes off her ring. In the next scene, Mira has now become a doctor. A nurse says, doctor, do something or this patient will die. Mira doesn't know what to do. too. Just then, a guy comes to Mira. He says, "What are you doing?" He needs a shock. Then he shouts, "Get the gel." Mira applies gel. The doctor delivers the shock, after which the patient recovers. After this, they both are alone. He says, "A man would have died because of your negligence." Meanwhile, Mira is thinking, how could he ever be romantic? The doctor says, "Why do you never answer me? A week has passed now." She asks, "Answer what question?" He comes closer to her and says, "You're pretending that you've forgotten, but let me remind you. I like you very much. Say that you love me too, or I will die." Hearing this, Mira smiles. Next, we see a scene from a reality show where a long-haired guy wins. He comes in front of Mira and says, "To take with me to paradise, I choose Miss Mira." In the next scene, Mira becomes a princess. A guy in black clothes comes to steal. As soon as he removes his mask, Mira falls in love with him. Next, she becomes a celebrity and falls in love with her bodyguard. She dates many guys. Sometimes she becomes a superstar. Sometimes she's part of the crowd for a superstar. She is very happy in this world. The next day, Mira is in her office. A colleague had gone on a date. She says, "I don't know if he will go on a second date with me or not." Mira says, "You message him directly and ask." Sangwoo says, "Who is giving relationship advice now?" Mira snatches the phone from her hand and messages him herself. Park is also watching all this. Later, the guy's reply comes and the next date is fixed for Saturday. Mira says, "See? Dating rule number 1. To move things forward, you have to ask." Saying this, she leaves from there. In the next scene, Park goes to get coffee. Mira is also there. She asks, "Today, you're only getting 1 coffee?" He says, "Don't need to today." Park starts moving toward her. Mira's breath quickens, but Park says, "Can you give me some space? I need a straw." In the next scene, Mira comes home. She checks her mobile and is shocked to see that people have made many comments about a typing mistake. She reads the comic book, where the hero asks the heroine, "Will you make me your brother?" Reading this, she is furious. The next day, she apologizes to the director. He says, the hero says, "Will you make me your brother?" And then the next moment, he gives her a ring and asks for marriage. Then he shouts, "How did such a big mistake happen?" Meanwhile, when the writer sees this mistake, she also gets mad. On the other hand, Mira goes into the game. Just then a bubble flies over. She goes inside it. Mira sees the same pink-colored trees, and she is shocked to see Yoonho in front of her. Yoonho says, "We're meeting after 10 years. Mira thinks to herself, "I know this is their trick to make me upgrade my subscription, but for him, this much is acceptable." She asks, "How are you?" He replies, "I'm fine. You've changed a lot. 10 years is a long time, but you are still as beautiful today." They both smile. In the next scene, we see Mira and Yoonho sitting together in a restaurant. There, she tells him that after college, Mira has now become a web developer, and at that very moment, her business card magically appears in her hand, and she gives it to Yoonho. Yoonho also tells her that after graduation, he started a company with some of his college friends, and then both of them start talking for a long time about college memories. But gradually, their conversation becomes serious. Yoonho tells her that when Mira suddenly left college, he went through a very difficult time. Then he asks her what really happened back then. Mira, after thinking for a while, says that she had her own reasons. Yoonho says that at least she should have stayed in contact. Mira apologizes to him for disappearing without telling him. After dinner, Yoonho shows her his office building. He asks her if she will definitely come here now to meet him. Mira says yes and then returns to the real world, feeling very happy about this date. She starts thinking about Yoonho. At that same time, she also gets a call from Yoonho, which she finds quite shocking. Then she learns by reading the manual that her date can also call and message her in the real world. Mira finds this unbelievable, but she continues the call. Both of them then talk for a very long time about what they like and dislike, and Mira also tells him that she really likes horror movies. Yoonho then asks her for a movie date, for which Mira immediately agrees, and Yoonho also tells her to meet near the office building. The next day, in the office, Mira arrives quite late for the meeting. Park is already sitting there. Today, they have to judge the webtoon contest. They both start working, but soon an argument breaks out between them. There, while taunting her, Park indirectly says that these days, many stories with very simple plots still top the charts. Mira doesn't say anything to that because she understood he was talking about Young. After that, Mira asks her colleagues for lunch, but everyone is quite busy with their own work. She ends up having to go for lunch alone with Park, even though she didn't want to. There, Park asks her about her likes and dislikes. After which, he learns that neither of them is particularly interested in romance. And here, Mira is just thinking that this time should pass quickly so she can get rid of this guy. After work in the evening, Mira heads towards Metro. Yoonho is already there waiting for her. Then they both go to watch the movie together, and Yoonho even feeds her popcorn with his own hand. They both enjoy that moment a lot. After the movie, Yoonho takes her to his office. Since it's Sunday, the entire building is empty and quiet. Mira slowly walks inside the office and looks at everything carefully. Then they both go to the rooftop for some fresh air. Yoonho asks her if she will disappear again like before. Mira looks at him and says, "This time, I'm not going anywhere." After that, Mira keeps texting Yoonho all the time. Even during meetings at the office, Mira is constantly messaging Yoonho during her office time. Park also notices this. Whatever time she gets after office, Mira spends all of it enjoying with Yoonho. They both go for dinner together. Another day, they meet at the library. They both sit opposite each other, studying in silence. Another day, they meet in the park during the afternoon. They walk side by side and keep laughing over small things. In the next scene, Mira meets her friend Jian. Jian is crying a lot because her boyfriend left her. She tells her that she has had 30 blind dates so far, but still hasn't found the right person. Jian thinks that maybe there's no such thing as a perfect match. After this, Mira goes out and calls Yoonho. She asks him, "Do you think that there is a perfect match for everyone?" Yoonho is silent for a while. Then he asks jokingly, "Are you asking this because I'm not good enough for you?" Mira immediately says, "No, that's not what I meant at all." The next day, during her team lunch, Mira finds out that they have to go to a workshop, but Mira refuses to go, saying she won't go. Then one of her colleagues reminds her, saying that last time, when she didn't go, the boss completely ignored her for 3 months and behaved very coldly. So this time, she'll have to go. Along with this, Mira also learns here that last time, Park also didn't go. So maybe he won't go this time either. But Park says that he will definitely go this time. Seeing this, Mira starts calling him a devil in her mind. After that, everyone reaches the workshop location. During the trip, a trivia contest is held. In this, Mira and Park compete against each other. The questions are related to webtoon titles, characters, and even tournaments from anime. Both answer very quickly and correctly, astonishing everyone present. The competition becomes so intense that it eventually goes to a tiebreaker. In the end, Park wins by just 1 point. After that, a treasure hunt game is held near a cold stream flowing nearby. During the game, Era's phone suddenly falls into the water. Due to the cold water, no one dares to get in. Then, without saying anything, Park directly jumps into the water, retrieves the phone, and brings it back. Everyone gets quite impressed with him. After the workshop ends, Sang-woo starts insisting on going in Park's car. Park agrees to that too. Ara then forcibly makes Mira sit in the front seat. As Sang-woo and Ara get off at their stops, Mira also starts to go with them. But Park stops her, saying he will drop her at her home. During the drive, Park asks why Young's sales have dropped so much recently. Mira explains the entire situation to him. Then Park tells her that Hani is going to do a short story project which was supposed to go to Young first because the advertiser demanded a change. Hearing this, Mira wonders why the director told Park this instead of telling her. After a while, they reach near her home. Mira starts to get out of the car. Just then, Park says, "I like you," and asks her out on a date. Hearing this, she is quite shocked because she had never thought about this before. Without saying anything, she leaves from there. Coming home, she feels that maybe Park was joking. The next day in the office, during a meeting, Mira feels very uncomfortable seeing Park, so she starts ignoring him and running away from him. After a while, Park comes to her and asks for her answer. Mira doesn't know what to say, so she lies that she's currently seeing someone. Park calmly says he understands and then starts acting as if nothing happened. Mira is surprised seeing him, wondering how he moved on so easily. Meanwhile, Mira continues to spend time with Yoonho. They both go ice skating. Mira skates very well and Yoonho is impressed seeing her. In the next scene, Mira goes to the parlor with Jian. There, she hears the name Yoonho from 2 ladies. She goes to them who are looking at a book. Reading it, she realizes that whatever she experienced with Yoonho wasn't very unique because Yoonho does this with all girls. Later, Mira goes back to Yoonho again. He has a bouquet of flowers in his hand, but Mira feels a little sad. This time, nothing feels special to her. Later, Yoonho also asks if everything is okay. Mira says everything is fine, but the truth is, she had understood that whatever Yoonho is doing is all pre-scripted, and because of that, Mira can't enjoy anything with him anymore. Mira starts to leave. Yoonho immediately comes after her and asks if he did something wrong, but Mira calmly says that he didn't do anything wrong. The problem is that she herself has changed now. She also tells him that this time, she won't disappear without telling him. She thanks him for everything and then she takes off the ring. In the next scene, Mira is thinking of canceling her subscription. Just then, her manager suddenly appears. Mira asks her, how many women is Yoonho currently dating on this app? The manager tells her that he is dating 12,000 girls at a time, and this number keeps increasing continuously. The manager then says that a user can also customize a boyfriend created only for themselves. This character's name is Jian. In the next scene, Mira is asked to fill out a long survey. In this survey, she is asked all kinds of questions about her ideal partner. Mira answers all of them honestly. After a while, the system announces optimization complete. Now, the new character is ready. In the next scene, Mira is driving a car when her scarf flies away in the wind. A boy catches it and stops his bike in front of Mira's car, then starts walking toward her. But as soon as Mira sees his face, she is completely shocked because he looks exactly like Park. Seeing this, Mira immediately takes off her ring. After this, she tells all this to her manager, but the manager says there is no problem according to the system. According to the data, he looks absolutely perfect and handsome. But Mira is not ready to accept this and tells the system to generate a new version again. But the manager immediately refuses. She explains that a custom character can only be created once. She also tells her to try him once because he will have all the qualities that Mira wanted in her boyfriend. The next day in the office, Mira keeps staring at Park. She thinks, how can he be my dream prince? Then she starts observing Park's features, how beautiful his eyes are, how beautiful his lips are. Coming to her senses, she shakes her head and says, what am I thinking? Park also finds her behavior very strange. After thinking a lot, Mira finally decides to give Jian a chance and returns to the same scene. Mira's car has broken down. Jian tells her that the engine is completely ruined and that if she wants, she can come with him. At that moment, Mira remembers a question from the survey about her imagination of the most romantic first meeting, and Mira had answered, meeting a free-spirited man during a trip, just like in a movie. And now, that exact scene was happening in front of her. As soon as she sits on the bike, Mira starts thinking about how strange all this is. She's sitting behind a man who looks like her office colleague, but the strange thing is that everything feels very comfortable. Lying on his back feels completely natural. Then Jian takes her to a club because Mira didn't know where she wanted to go. There, when Jian asks, she tells him that she just broke up and her ex was dating 12,000 girls. Hearing all this, Jian is also shocked. Then he brings her to where he lives, tells her to go to the room and rest. Mira goes into the room. There she meets Suji, but here her name is Yura, and her personality is nothing like before. During dinner, Jian tells her that her car will be fixed by the day after tomorrow morning, meaning Mira will have to stay there for 2 days. Mira asks him what he does for work. Jian says that he just draws, and hearing this, she remembers that in school, she wanted a boy like this who also sketches. Thinking about everything, she is quite surprised. The next day, both spend time by the seaside. Later, Mira finds his sketchbook. She also notices an interesting thing that he only drew couples. Mira jokingly says he is a very strange artist who only draw couples. Then Jian tells her that he only draws those people who completely trust in their love and have no doubt about their relationship's future. That night, Jian and Mira are on their way back when Jian tells her he thinks they have lost their way. Hearing this, Mira panics. She thinks maybe he is joking, but Jian says that he once heard a story about a newly married couple disappearing in this area. Hearing this, Mira remembers another question from the survey. When the system had asked her which movie genre she likes the most, Mira had answered, horror. Mira thinks, I like watching horror movies, not living in them. Then she admits that she really is feeling a bit scared. At that moment, Jian holds her hand. As soon as he does, that fear and tension slowly disappear, and fireflies begin to appear around them. Seeing all this, Mira becomes very happy. The next day, the director calls Park and Mira to his office. He tells them the advertisement went to Hani instead of Young and instructs Mira to inform Young about this beforehand. Otherwise, she will get very angry later. He also tells them that now both of them have to go together to the Busan comic world because there is an award show happening there. After leaving the office, Park asks Mira the reason for ignoring him because her behavior has been upsetting him a lot these days. Mira doesn't say anything, but deep down she also realizes that she shouldn't be ignoring Park like this. Later, Mira goes to Busan Comics Festival with Park. Then the Comics Festival award ceremony begins and the popularity award, with a huge number of fan votes, goes to Young, which she has been winning for years because of her novel. Young jokingly says that if she gets the same award next year too, maybe she'll stop coming to the festival altogether. Then she laughs and says she was just joking. Now comes the turn to announce the winner of the webtoon of the year. And the winner is Hani's webtoon Plan C. Hani stands there, unable to believe that he has actually won. During his speech, he thanks all those people who supported him on this journey. But Young is not happy about it at all. After the ceremony, Young wants to leave immediately. Mira tries to persuade her to come back inside and join the after party. But Young pushes her aside. Just then, she is about to fall. But then, Park catches her. Finally then, at Park's insistence, Young goes back inside. At the party, Hani is so happy that he announces he will treat everyone to expensive whiskey today. Then he gets a call from the director. Seeing this, Young gets angry and says that whenever she calls the director, the call never connects. Then she asks Hani why he answers his calls and ignores her calls for months. Hani says he genuinely doesn't know anything about this. But Young's anger increases. She starts accusing him, saying saying maybe he is taking revenge on her along with the director Choi. She even asks if he deliberately asks director Choi to change his webtoon's upload schedule so that it would clash with her Friday release slot. Hanni completely denies all these things, but Young vents all her anger on him. She says that Hanni is doing all this because, in the past, he wanted to be her boyfriend, and that's why he used to place snacks in her office. Young had seen him keeping snacks many times. Hearing this, Hanni doesn't stay quiet either, and says that he never liked Young. He kept snacks for her assistant, meaning Song, because he likes her a lot. Hearing all this, everyone is surprised, and Young makes an excuse of going to the washroom, and while leaving, she says that she already has a boyfriend. That night, Young is drunk, so Meera comes to drop her home. Just then, Young's phone suddenly starts ringing. Meera answers the call. A man on the other end immediately asks if something happened to Young. Meera tells him that Young drank a bit too much at the after party and is now sleeping in her room. The man thanks Meera for taking care of Young. Meera gets curious and asks who is speaking. The man replies in a calm voice, "I am Young's boyfriend." Hearing this, Meera thinks So Young wasn't lying about having a boyfriend. In the next scene, Meera is sitting somewhere drinking. At that time, she gets a call from Jian. She picks up and starts talking to him, but she's a little drunk. Then Park appears in front of her, thinking he is Jian. Meera touches his face and says, "So you really came?" Park is a little surprised. He asks, "What are you doing?" Hearing this, Meera realizes he is Park. They both look at each other. The scene shifts to past. We see the story from Park's side, from noticing her every moment in the office to coincidentally seeing her in the coffee shop. Park thinks at first it was just a string of coincidences. In the office, when Meera picks up one gift from the box, Meera looked so happy with the gift. Park, standing on the other side of the room, thinks, out of so many gifts, she chose the one that was mine. Maybe it was just a coincidence? Then another moment appears. Every morning, they both stand together in silence as the elevator goes up. Maybe this was another coincidence too. Then, in the next scene, Park sees Meera working late at night. He goes to buy coffee, and at the same time, Meera comes there and places her order. Park admits that many times he had thought all of this was just coincidence, but every time he thought that Meera would do something that made these small coincidences keep bringing him back into her world again and again. And now, Park finds himself waiting for the next coincidence. And the story returns to the present. Park asks Meera, "What are you doing?" Meera says she just came out for some fresh air and was about to go back inside. Park says, if that's the case, they can go inside together. In the next scene, they both slowly start walking back towards the building, starts heading towards the hotel, where on the way, Park asks Meera if her relationship is going well with her boyfriend. Meera answers immediately, yes, everything is going well. On this, Park says he is glad to hear that. Then he drops her off at her room. Later, Park recalls a scene where he had overheard Young and Meera talking, where Meera had told Young that she doesn't even have time to make a boyfriend, and she is still single. So Park misunderstands that Meera lied to him because she doesn't like him. The next morning, Young is already ready. She just picks up her bag and starts to leave. Meera quickly goes after her and carefully tries to bring up last night's topic, but Young says, "Don't talk about that," and starts walking faster. Meera understands that she is uncomfortable with the topic, so she quickly changes the subject. She asks if she called her boyfriend back. Hearing this, Young suddenly stops and asks, "How do you know about him?" Meera explains that last night, her phone kept ringing, so she answered the call. There was a man on the phone, introduced himself as Young's boyfriend. Hearing this, Young gets very angry. She asks loudly why Meera answered someone else's phone. Then she calls Meera very annoying and leaves from there. Coming back home, Meera spends her time with Jian. Jian says, "I've stayed here for a long time. Now it's time to move on to the next destination. I don't know where it'll be. I'll just go wherever the road takes me." He then asks, "Will you come with me?" But Meera keeps thinking about Park. Thinking, what's happening to me? She takes off the ring. The next day, during the meeting, Meera smiles at him, but Park turns his face away. In the evening, Meera is waiting for Jian at a cafe and Park is also there. Then Meera thinks, I am the one who rejected him, so why am I hiding? She turns back confidently and starts walking towards him. Park is also looking at her. Just then, she runs into a glass door in front of her. Everyone around starts looking at her. Meera stands there in an awkward state, then quietly goes and sits at her seat. Meera gets up and goes to the washroom where she sees there is a red mark on her face. She puts a hand to her head and leaves from there. Later, when Jian arrives to pick her up, she is also shocked to see Meera's head. Meera starts crying and screaming loudly. After they reach home, Jian can't stop laughing. Then she also helps her cover her forehead with a wig. The next day, Meera reaches the office. Everyone compliments her new haircut. Just then, Park appears in front of her. Meera gets awkward and carefully moves past. Park goes to his seat and laughs heartily. At night, the office heater suddenly stops working, and Meera wraps herself in a blanket to protect herself from the cold. cold. Park brings a heater for her. Mira tells him to sit because they only have one heater. Now the two of them are sitting close together and also they talk a lot. Meanwhile, reaching home, Mira gets a photo of herself from Jian, on the back of which was written that he likes her very much, and along with it, there was also a QR code, and she scans it and sees that Jian had left a video message saying that he misses her very much. Where has she suddenly gone? He wants to meet her. The next day, Mira sees that her show has reached number 2. Soon after, Mira is called to the director's office. The director reminds her that Young's contract is ending soon. If the rankings keep falling like this, the company won't be able to offer a good renewal deal. After hearing all this, Mira immediately goes to meet Young, but Young feels that her career is now completely over. But Mira promises that she will bring this story back to number 1. She also says that today they both should go out somewhere to eat good food, but they end up at the same restaurant where Hani and Park were already present. The situation becomes very awkward. They were just about to leave from there, but just then, Song also arrives there. Now seeing her, Hani runs over to them and convinces them to stay for food. And then they all eat together. After this, Hani takes them to show his studio. There, Young sends Mira and Park to get some snacks because Hani was busy showing his house to Song. On the way, Mira apologizes to Park. She tells him she doesn't have a boyfriend and that she got nervous because she had never faced such a situation before. Then Park softly asks her, "It's true that you don't have a boyfriend, right?" Mira says yes. Hearing this, Park comes a little closer to her and says, "So does that mean I can do as I please?" Hearing this, Mira doesn't understand what to say now, but before she can say something, Hani calls them inside the house. There, everyone starts talking while having drinks. Hani tells everyone that Park used to make art during his college days, showing an art piece hung in his house. He says that Park made this too. Hearing this, Mira is shocked because she always wanted a boy who does sketching and drawing. After dinner, Park is sleeping on the sofa. Just then, Mira's phone battery dies. She quickly goes and puts it on charge. Seeing Park sleeping, she sits there and starts looking at him. Suddenly, Park wakes up and asks, "Are you okay?" And while saying this, he touches her head. Actually, he was asking about the injury on her head, but Mira's heart starts beating fast. Mira can't understand what is happening to her. The next morning, Mira goes for a jog, but no matter how hard she tries, she can't stop thinking about Park. Later at the office, she tries to take the elevator, but there's no space for Mira in the elevator, so he waits to take the next one with her. Then, he goes to the office with her and also brings her favorite coffee. Seeing all this, Mira's heart starts melting a little bit. After work, Mira tries to leave the office quickly, but Park stops her and returns the secret Santa gift to her and also tells her that he was the one who brought it and placed it in the gift box. That night, Mira can't sleep because she keeps thinking about Park. Just then, Park sends her a good night message. Seeing this, Mira smiles. She feels like she is dreaming. Because of this, Mira's focus starts shifting from her work, and even while being with Young, she keeps thinking about Park. Meanwhile, Jian buys herself a boyfriend-on-demand headset and enjoys a truly romantic date with a guy who is genuinely interested in her. That guy even sings for her, making that moment even more special for her. In the next scene, due to work, poor Mira has to stay in the office even on Christmas Day, and Park also intentionally stays with her. Now, as soon as Mira's work is done, she sees that Park is nowhere around. Suddenly, the lights go out. When Mira moves forward to see what happened, she is happy to see the decorated Christmas tree. Actually, Park had decorated this tree for her. Then he also brings a cute cake for her, and they celebrate Christmas together. Then they both leave for home together. On their way, he sees an advertisement for an art festival. Since Mira loves art, Park suggests they both go see the art festival together. Mira hesitates. Park says she doesn't have to answer right now. She can tell him later. When they are about to part ways, Park gives her a letter and tells her to read it later. As soon as she reaches home and opens the letter, Park had asked her for a date in it. Reading this, Mira starts thinking about the future and becomes confused between Jian and Park again. In the next scene, Mira goes to meet Jian to answer his letter. Upon reaching there, she finds him waiting by the lake. He smiles and says he missed her a lot. Then he takes her to a garden and says he wants to paint her portrait. But every time Mira looks at his face, she could only remember Park. At that moment, she realizes the truth. The person she truly loves is the real-world Park. Feeling guilty, she apologizes to Jian and says she will not come again. But suddenly, he holds her hand and says that his love will always remain the same for her, whereas the real-world person can change anytime. Hearing this, Mira gets scared, and when she returns to the real world, this fear deepens even more. She starts convincing herself that if she truly falls in love with Park, maybe one day he will also leave her, just like her old boyfriend had left her. Because of this fear, Mira makes a decision. The next day in the office, she completely starts ignoring Park. Park is quite confused by her sudden change in behavior, so he goes to her and asks what the matter is. But Mira just tells him to stay away from her and leaves from there. Park stands there, unable to understand what suddenly changed. Days go by. Both try to keep themselves so busy with office work that they don't get time to think about each other. They think maybe this way they will be able to forget each other. But the truth is, they both keep missing each other. each other. Then one day, at a team dinner, the director announces that the company has decided to step into the American webtoon market. And for this, their best team member will be sent there, which is none other than the director himself. Everyone starts celebrating after hearing this. After dinner, everyone leaves for home. Because of Sungwoo, Mira and Park end up sharing a taxi. First, Sungwoo gets out at his stop. Then only the two of them are left. Later, when the taxi stops near Mira's house, she quickly gets out and starts to go inside. Park follows her and offers her an umbrella because it was snowing heavily outside, but Mira doesn't take it. He directly asks why just taking an umbrella has become such a big problem for her, and why she is trying so hard to avoid his feelings. Hearing this, Mira admits that this is also very hard for her, and she doesn't even know what she wants right now. Park asks her what she is so afraid of. Mira says, "What begins, ends. What if you change later?" Park replies that changes aren't always bad. He admits that he has changed too, after he fell in love with her. Now he wipes Mira's tears and finally gathers the courage to step forward and kiss her. This time, Mira doesn't pull back, and they start kissing each other. They are now going to move forward with their relationship. After this, Park goes to drop her home. He gives Mira a ticket to the art exhibition and says, "I hope you will come with me to see this." The next day, when Park waits for Mira and she doesn't come, he gets upset and is about to leave from there. Just then, he sees Mira crossing the road. He becomes very happy seeing her and, holding her hand, asks why she is so late. She says, "Now I have come to you, haven't I?" After the exhibition, they go to watch a horror movie. There, Mira is enjoying watching the movie, but Park gets very scared and sits with his eyes closed. Seeing this, Mira laughs and holds his hand to comfort him. Slowly, they start getting closer. They go to restaurants together, visit amusement parks, and take lots of pictures. In the lift, amidst the crowd, they secretly hold each other's hands, smile, and enjoy all these moments. But in the office, they pretend they don't like each other at all. Then Mira jokingly says that Park is very annoying, and Park also laughs. Actually, they had decided that they would keep their relationship hidden from everyone so that no one in the company finds out and nobody gossips about them. Next, we see Jian is now even more involved in boyfriend on demand. She has dated almost 200 guys, and each time, after making them fall in love with her, she leaves them. Because of this, the manager warns her that she should stop doing this because these characters are not toys. But Jian flatly refuses to listen to her and insists on continuing the same behavior. Jian is thoroughly enjoying her power because no one judges her in this game. And when she writes an article about her experience, that post gets over 10,000 views. Meanwhile, Mira and Park are enjoying their cute relationship. They are hiding from the office people. Mira is afraid someone might see them. They also keep talking on messages while doing their work throughout the day. Mira's work pressure increases a bit because Young's popularity has decreased. She tries to explain to Young that she should bring new ideas so their webtoon becomes popular again. In the next scene, Young sits to work at night but can't get any new ideas. It's as if she's bored with her work. She looks at her ring and goes to meet her virtual boyfriend, who this time is a chef. Then we learn that the boyfriend whose call came that day was none other than from the virtual world. Young liked the virtual world so much that her focus shifted from work. The next day, when Mira's whole group is out for lunch, an advertisement for Boyfriend on Demand plays on the TV there. Seeing it, Park mocks the game a bit, asking why any girl would even join it. Hearing this, Mira says nothing, but she is deeply afraid that how will Park react if he comes to know that Mira has also dated boys from the virtual world. That night, everyone plans to go out for drinks. But Young hasn't uploaded the chapter, so Mira can't join them. Park tries to make an excuse to stay with her, but it's no use because Hani had already uploaded his content on time. Everyone takes Park away from Mira, and he can't do anything. The next scene shows when Mira is in the office. Park comes there slightly drunk to meet her. A colleague almost spots him. Panicking, Mira quickly brings Park to the cafeteria area and tells him to stay here and sit quietly until her work is done. Later, when Young uploads the chapter, Mira's work is done. She goes to look at Park and realizes he has fallen asleep. Mira just stands there silently, gazing at him, admiring his handsome looks. After a while, when Park wakes up, they both leave together. When they reach her place, before leaving, Mira hugs him tightly and then they both kiss each other. Reaching home, Mira checks the webtoon ratings. When she sees that the rating is changed and Young is back on top, she is very happy. Mira calls Young and praises her for pulling it off, as they had written a plot that won the audience's hearts. But later, it is revealed that Young had written in her story this time what she experienced in Boyfriend on Demand. Since Young is back on top, pressure starts building up on Hani as well. Still, Park leaves him to his own devices and comes to Mira's house because they are going to spend time together at home. They talk a bit, and then Park starts making soup for her, but Mira starts flirting with him. Park's mood changes. He lifts her up and carries her to the sofa, and they start kissing each other. Meanwhile, Jian activates a new feature in the app, which is called Love Triangle. With the help of this feature, users can date multiple characters at the same time. When Mr. Minjin finds out about it, he is completely shocked. Jian writes her article titled Boyfriend Killer, and her reviews read as if she is revealing a secret formula on how to survive in the dating world. People are following her advice and moving ahead without putting in any effort. It is like they have found a shortcut in boyfriend on demand. The problem is that if other girls start changing candidates as quickly as Jian, the company could lose many customers and revenues. So he decides that he will meet her himself and persuade her to stop all this. Later in the office, Mira learns that Boyfriend on Demand has accused Young of plagiarism. The new plots and twists in Young's webtoon, despite their popularity, are struggling, and people have noticed that a man in Boyfriend on Demand resembles Young's webtoon character. And as soon as this news goes viral, people turn against the app. The comments are toxic and harsh. Young's fans are also furious at this time. Young is nowhere to be found. Mira searches for her and goes to her house, but she isn't there. Mira waits for Young at her house. Then at night, Mira calls Park and tells him to check the notes from the meeting with Young, which are on a USB stick at her house. So Park goes to Mira's house and starts looking for the USB. And suddenly, Mira then remembers that the USB also contains evidence of over 50 hours logged into Boyfriend on Demand. Remembering this, she runs towards her house in fear and reaches quickly. But when she goes inside, she sees that Park is standing in the kitchen cooking for her. It seems like Park didn't find out anything, and he hugs her normally and behaves casually. Later that night, Park can't sleep and comes to the kitchen for water. He notices Mira's photo and reads what's written on the back. He scans the QR code and finds Jian's video too. Seeing a character who looks exactly like him, Park is completely stunned. He just can't understand what all this is, and very surprised by all this, he enters the virtual world in Mira's avatar. There, he meets Jian. Jian thinks he is Mira, but Park is shocked to see Jian in his own form. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mira is having a very nice dream with Park. She wakes up and feels that something is wrong. She comes out and sees that Park has brought breakfast, then they both have breakfast together. But this time, Park remains silent and distant. Mira doesn't understand why he is acting so cold. Park is thinking about his meeting with Jian. When he saw him, he was stunned. He asks, "Who are you?" Jian says, "Are you joking? You didn't recognize me?" For Jian, it was Mira. Suddenly, everything stops and a message appears saying Mira's subscription is about to end. Park finds out that Mira is dating Jian. That's why he is feeling uneasy. Now, as Park is about to leave, Mira gets a message from Jian asking why she left so soon. Seeing this message, she panics because she hadn't recently gone into the game. She tries to ask Park about it indirectly, but he directly tells her that he logged into the game, saw Jian, and has come to know everything. Hearing this, Mira is speechless. Park doesn't know how to handle the situation. Mira tries to explain to him, but she can't properly explain why she dated Jian. Park says he doesn't know what he's feeling right now and that they'll talk later. Saying this, he leaves. Mira immediately goes to meet Jian and tells him the whole truth, that it wasn't her but Park who came to meet him earlier. She asks him what they talked about. Jian says nothing much, he just got scared seeing him as if he'd seen a ghost and left quickly. After this, Mira gets a call from Song and finds out that Young has gone to the office in anger. After the drama involving Boyfriend on Demand, Young has been fired from the company. Young goes straight to confront the director, who is afraid she might break his favorite things in anger. Young turns the whole office upside down and no one dares to say anything. Just then, Mira also comes there and tries to calm Young down. Young starts to leave with a cutout of her webtoon character, where Mira, trying to stop her, also gets hurt. Park sees that Mira's hand is injured. He wants to help her, but he is afraid that their colleagues might find out about their relationship. So, when she is applying medicine on her injury, Park also helps her, but doesn't talk to her because he's still a bit upset about the Boyfriend on Demand. She tries to talk to him, but just then, some employees suddenly enter the room and she has to stop right there. In the evening, when they are both together in the elevator, Mira gently touches his face to calm him down. But at that moment, Park remembers the moment when she had done exactly the same thing earlier. He realizes that maybe that feeling wasn't for him. He says he is very busy and leaves from there. Mira is completely perplexed. She doesn't understand how to fix everything. So she asks for advice from Jian, who tells her that she should completely ignore Park so that he comes after her on his own. But Mira's heart doesn't agree. She sets aside all her pride and sends Park a message asking if he is okay. Meanwhile, Park is having dinner with Hanny. He sees Mira's messages but doesn't reply. Seeing his mood off, Hanny understands that he had a fight with his girlfriend. Park is shocked and asks, "How do you know I have a girlfriend?" Hanny explains that it's obvious. He has seen him looking at Mira with so much affection many times, so he understood he likes her. He also reads Park's face and says he's not angry or sad with Mira. He's just annoyed because he truly cares about her. On the other side, when Meera sees that Park ignored her message, she also gets angry and decides that now she will behave coldly toward him. The next day in the office, they both completely ignore each other. In the next scene, Meera takes a stand for Young and tells the director to reconsider his decision to fire their best client. So the boss decides that he will not fire Young from the company, but until this scandal cools down, he will suspend her for some time. Later, Meera goes to meet Jian and tells him everything. He advises her that she should attract Park towards her again with her beauty and see if his heart beats for her. If it does, it means he still loves her. Meera follows his advice, and the next day, she comes to the office wearing a beautiful dress, hoping that her plan will surely work. She finds out that two people from Webtoon Monthly magazine have come to interview the director and Park. Just then, Park arrives at the office, also dressed in a suit. Everyone stares at him, including Meera, who can't take her eyes off him. Park, even while seeing Meera, walks past her and goes for the interview, thinking to himself that she didn't need to look that beautiful. From Meera's perspective, Park's heart didn't beat at all. So, Jian gives her his second idea, to become heartless. So, before going to the office, Meera leaves her heart at home so she won't get hurt more because of Park. Meanwhile, Park and Hani meets Minjoon to take his webtoon to the next level. During this, when the topic of boyfriend on demand comes up, Park gets a clearer understanding of Jian's character. What Meera couldn't clarify becomes clear through Minjoon's words. When he talks to Hani about this, he asks him how he would feel if he found out that his girlfriend had created a character exactly like him in some dating program. Harry says that he would be happy because it would mean he is her ideal type. Hearing this, Park slowly begins to understand that boyfriend on demand is not as big a problem as he had thought, especially when Meera's ideal guy is exactly like him. Park drops Hani midway and runs to Meera. When he sees Meera standing outside, he goes straight to her and hugs her tightly and says, "I want to be with you." At that moment, Meera sees her heart beating fast. She feels that this is what she wants too. Here, another sweet kiss happens between them. They both become happy with each other again. On the other side, Minjoon and his colleague come to meet Jian because they think she is perfect to improve their game. But as soon as Jian arrives, Minjoon becomes instantly smitten with her. During the meeting, his colleague talks with Jian. When Jian is about to leave, Minjoon runs to her and gives her his business card. As he watches her leave, he trips and falls, feeling very awkward. This boosts Jian's confidence even more. The next scene shows preparations for an awards show. During this, the romance between Meera and Park continues. They both are in a storage room when Park is about to kiss Meera. Just then, Sangwoo arrives. Meera accidentally pushes Park away. Park tries to grab a shelf for support, but it falls on top of him. Sangwoo takes Park to the hospital with Meera running behind them. Upon reaching the hospital, Meera starts crying because she can't see Park anywhere. As soon as he comes out, seeing Park's injured hand, Meera hugs him, crying. Seeing this, Sangwoo understands that they are in a relationship. He is surprised, but leaves quietly. Meera, crying, keeps apologizing to Park. Park tries to calm her down and says, "Don't worry." Finally, they sit outside and talk openly about the boyfriend on demand game. Park tells her that when he first saw Jian, he felt like asking him everything from the start till now. But then he realized that Meera chose Park in the end, and that's what matters to him. He sometimes fears a rift between them, but right now, he wants to live by fully accepting his feelings. Now Meera also decides that she will also let this relationship flow naturally, without fear of what the future holds for them. In the next scene, everyone enjoys the director's farewell as he is going to America. When Sangwoo reveals her relationship, everyone laughs because no one believes Park and Meera are dating. Just then, Young and Hani arrive, and Young gifts a mug to the director, meaning their differences are resolved. Everyone resolves their differences, and the night ends peacefully. Finally, Meera decides to properly say goodbye to Jian. She goes into the game and bids him farewell at the place where their story began. Jian is sad, but he also says goodbye and goes his own way. Finally, Meera is ready to leave her virtual boyfriend and live in real life. Listening to her heart, she moves forward with Park. In the end, Meera and Park meet in a park and are seen walking together hand in hand. And with this beautiful love story of Meera and Park ends here. If you liked this drama story, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll meet again with another fantastic drama story. Thanks for watching!